talking to Tiki T about the Laserdisc version when you got off last time because I forgot what the difference was. I think it was just the there's a little bit more on screen. Like
Yeah,
there's
well,
less.
I believe it's scanned directly from like the film cells, so you get all the grit and stuff on the screen.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the opening looks awesome. Like I just saw because it just starts because there's no bullshitting with Laserdisc. Like it just you put it in, click play, and it plays the what logo came up. It was something like Pioneer and the Dolby surround sound or Dolby surround sound thing. You know where it goes like through the doors or whatever it is, and then it's like just starts. So
Nice.
I know the Lost World Laserdisc actually has like a behind the scenes thing at the end of the credits. Like,
Oh, at the end, that's cool. I did see
yeah.
something about behind the scenes on there. I didn't know how that worked, but
But this one also comes with a booklet I'm reading.
nice.
It has some information on all the dinosaurs. An interesting thing about the Dilophosaurus, it says here. Dilophosaurus. But Jurassic Park scientists, it gives like actual facts about each animal.
Oh, that's cool.
It says, but Jurassic Park scientists discovered once they had hatched the initial samples that Dilophosaurus, with its yellow and black spotted leopard-like body, which is that's not in the film.
No.
That's from the book, right?
Yeah.
Was a killer like contemporary Gila monsters and rattlesnakes. Dilophosaurus secreted a poisonous hemotoxin from glands in its mouth. Death follows within minutes of a bite, but they also can spit venom up to 6 meters, blinding and paralyzing their prey.
Okay.
There's like,
Cool.
I think that's been sort of retconned a little bit by certain people.
Well, did they take some of that for the ride queue line?
Yeah, the Jurassic World one. So basically, me and Tim, we wrote that the Dilophosaurus having venom and all that sort of stuff was like a byproduct of them genetic meddling. Like they didn't plan it to have that. So they at first they thought, hey, look at this, the dinosaur can do this. We didn't know this, but then later found out, hang on a second, that's a byproduct of us. The Dilophosaurus never did that. And so
Right. Yeah.
yeah, so that's like Wu's discovery into like hybridization, all that sort of stuff. So and then now it's like in the queue lines at bloody Jurassic World, the ride. Awesome. Interesting. It says here, and this will be funny to Alan Grant. It says here, this is about the Velociraptors. It says here, the animals that were born on Isla Nublar turned out to be about the same intelligence as chimpanzees. Ellie, they were smarter than primates.
Look at
that. This one says they were about the same as a chimpanzee, and they worked in packs as seen to kill for sport. There you go. And not simply when they are hungry. My God, it's killing for sport.
Oh, I see. So you think they really are kind of referencing all these like booklets and stuff for the films?
Well, I think it's like they all go hand in hand with one another. I think like obviously I don't expect Colin to have like written the script based on a Laserdisc booklet. But
yeah.
But the thing is, it's like they all have the same idea. You know, and obviously
yeah.
I think when Owen says like they're killing for sport or it's killing for sport, it's like that's because that's its raptor nature.
Right, exactly.
In it.
Fucking cool. Should bring that up to I don't know if you'll make a video on that or bring it up to Clayton so he can shine light on it.
I will I'll see what he says. I'm just seeing here if there's anything else. The other animals are all just pretty standard. The T-Rex.
Do you think the T-Rex, like I was thinking about it the other night, like in the Jurassic World films. I guess with the flare, you know, you do still kind of get the T-Rex needing some kind of luminant like guide or whatever, but I'm not sure if we still get the vision based on movement theory throughout the rest of the series. I don't think even Lost World really
Um,
has.
well, no, I mean we have like Malcolm going like, everyone, don't move, or
Oh, right,
whatever when they're in
right.
the when they're inside the hunter's
Grant's
camp
in
or whatever. Yeah,
JP3 as well. Yeah.
Grant does his head
Yeah.
in JP3, but the thing is, it's like we haven't had an instance in the newer films where we've seen it come into play. Like, you know, Claire wanted to be seen, so she used the flare to lure the
Right.
T-Rex. And Fallen Kingdom, we don't really get a scene
All
where
I can,
someone has to stay still.
but that's. I mean, I like to think when Owen is like right next to T Rex, and everyone likes to complain about like, oh, he's right there. The T Rex doesn't even care to munch on him. But it's like, well, he was standing perfectly still in that moment as well. So you can think about it that
Yeah,
way.
and plus, like the T-Rex sort of had the bigger prey in its eyesight.
Right.
But
Right.
the scene which I thought it would have worked in really well was the blood transfusion scene. You could have a scene where its eye opens and it's like half asleep, and Owen's just right there, standing as dead still as he can, as it's like
Right.
staring at him, and then you see its eye close again and goes back to sleep, and he's like, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then like obviously later on its eye opens.
Mhm.
Would be interesting to see if someone actually uses that in the third installment and either uses it alongside the T-Rex or uses it mistakenly. They see like a Ceratosaurus, it's like, stay still, they can't see us if we don't move, and just they get completely chewed upon.
Yeah. Well, Arjan, I know in the Jurassic fans group that we have, Arjan, he doesn't believe that the T-Rex's vision's based on movement in the Jurassic series. He thinks that's false, not true.
Seriously. Like fake news false.
Yeah, that like it's a theory that holds no water.
I mean, it was kind of worked for Grant in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I know. You should ask him about it. It's interesting. He'll talk to you about it. He's like, it's an interesting conversation because I've never heard anyone else say that.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
Yeah. No, Yeah, I like some of his ideas for sure.
Oh, I think Sicky's going to be joining us because I see he's just popped online.
Nice.
Well, when he come in.
We're waiting as well, chaps. What do you think of this when it uploads?
Oh, you've added colour? Oh, I can't show this on the stream, but or not the stream, on the recording.
It's not quite finished yet. The caricature side of things are more or less done, but I need to get the Guanji colours looking right.
I love the fact that it's like eating you.
It's like I have become the dinosaur.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to work, Jack. Don't do that. Yeah, can't show it on the recording, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll get there.
I haven't watched Jurassic Park in some time, actually.
I thought like it'd be just interesting to do because I did a commentary for this years ago, which is kind of out of date, and I've been meaning to do one again, and I just thought, well, why not do one, and we'll do it for this series of commentaries that we're recording because I don't think we've all sat down and actually watched the original together.
No.
And I think it helps as well that you do these sort of commentaries on films that you've not done in a period of time as well, because you have new knowledge and new outlook of things. Whereas, 10 years ago, you might look at something and say, well, that scene with Nedge is really shit. But then you re-look at it 10 years later. So actually, I really like the scene now because X, Y, and Z reason.
Yeah. That's exactly it. My relationship to the original Jurassic Park has been a freaking roller coaster.
I can imagine.
Oh, I see Sam's just popped online as well. Here's Sicky.
Hello, folks.
Back
Hey.
again.
How we doing, people? Doing all right tonight?
Doing well.
Here's the guy who said, what are we going to talk about when we do Jurassic Park? And here he is. Come groveling to the chat.
I was only joking. There's always something to talk about.
Yeah. Muldoon socks, if anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can see Sam's just jumped on Discord.
Let's get him in here.
And I haven't heard anything back from Matt Brando. Oh no, he's gone. Sam's just gone.
Oh, well.
He's like,
Wait 1 second, guys. Just look for a drink.
What time is it, like 11:30 there or something?
Yeah, it's 11:20.
Gotcha. Oh, yes.
Well, I don't know if you guys are ready to go, but we can just start this thing. It's not like people haven't seen this movie. It's not like when we do Deep Blue Sea or something that there's some people who want us to wait.
Yeah.
But we can start this. You all ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Siki, I was saying I'm watching the Laserdisc, so halfway through this film, you guys keep going. I'll have to get up and flip the disc, and then I'll ask you guys where you are, and I'll just skip ahead. But anyway, right, let's do this. Okay, 3. Oh wait, where's my play button? On this controller thing.
Right now, aren't you?
Yeah, we're all recording. We're all good. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, play. We've seen the Universal logo.
I
Classic.
think this is probably my first proper film, because the first film I remember going to see at the cinema was Hook, and then followed straight after that was this. And that Universal logo for me has always been kind of like my Universal logo. It's like any other Universal variations that come out now. It's like, nah, that's not Universal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just funny because I only ever went and saw one film before this at the cinema when I was a kid.
Can you remember what it was?
Oh yeah, I even remember seeing bits of it. It was Rescuers Down Under.
Oh jeez.
I love that film.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
I remember the only thing I remember from it in the cinema when I was younger is seeing those what is it, those the field that is rushing through at the beginning.
Yes.
I actually remember that.
Nice. I always like that truck for some obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of feels like an engine vehicle.
I never saw this at the cinemas. I was too little. Just a little kiddie.
Really?
Yeah, I was 2 when this came out. So
All right.
first time I'll have seen this will have been on video, I think, VHS.
Wow. Yeah, I do remember. I remember the shot of the T-Rex roaring in the mirror. That's all I remember from my experience of Jurassic Park.
That's
some
cool.
reason.
Yeah, when I was with my biological father, he just kind of made me watch that when I was 2 years old or whatever, because I was just born, I think, 2 or 3 months before it was released in theaters, so obviously I didn't make that. But
No,
yeah,
what are you talking about? Your parents didn't force this newborn to go sit for his really loud, scary movie.
My mom gave birth in the theater. No, but yeah, it was. I remember watching it. Like, I can still remember from some of my first viewings, just the helicopter arrival when they're flying through the ravine. And there's actually like a home video where you can hear, like, I'm definitely like 2 years old or something there, and you can hear Jurassic Park playing in the background when right at the finale with the Velociraptors, and I was like, that's cool that that's documented. But my first movie theater experience ever was The Lost World.
Oh man, there you go.
And Jack, when you were talking about when we were doing the whole commentary, you were saying how you had like a rule to never watch a movie twice in theaters, or
until Hulk. Funny enough.
And yeah, it was funny because I had the same rule too. Like, The Lost World was the only movie that I remember seeing twice in the movie theater, because my dad, he knew I liked Jurassic Park so much, so I went to see it twice. And then he took me to see Alien Resurrection, and I was freaking pissing my pants because I guess he thought that were like raptors or something. And I'm just sitting there in the theater. I still remember it. Like, the last scene I remember when she like spinning the basketball on her finger. And I was like fucking bawling my eyes out like that of all scenes, And it was funny, but yeah, the next movie I ever saw twice in theaters was The Avengers, which has Hulk in it, so I guess we have that in common, Jack.
There you go. We've got Gennaro now arriving. We just missed the whole beginning, but
Talked through the whole beginning. My bad.
That's right. The only interesting thing about the beginning is, like, we've all been talking about in recent times about, like, how the raptor got in there, or why they have to lift the gate up and stuff. And it's I'm speculating that the raptor, because me and Clayton were talking about this, how like why isn't the raptor tranked in the opening? It's like, why didn't they trank it? And obviously that's something they should have done. But the idea I look at it as is that box is like one you'd put bait in and leave in the paddock, and then it's got like a trap door. So like when the raptor goes in there, the door slams shut, which is why it's not a mechanical one. It's one you have to like sort of lift up. It's like a proper, like how they capture lions and stuff. But the one
I was going to say, it's more based on like a safari cage, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a veterinary cage.
So it's like transporting live animals. But the thing that gets me is like that how did they get the forklift into the paddock to get that thing out? So you can keep going deeper into like, how did they actually do this?
Because this is my island and I do what I fucking want and leave all the lights on.
Hello, James.
Alright.
How you doing?
Not bad. I don't think I'll be on long. I just thought I couldn't resist.
Come on and do
I
his
saw
animal
I saw
impression.
Jurassic Park and I thought, I wonder if I get the shitty raptor scene at the beginning. I did. Perfect timing.
But we're now looking at them digging up, or I am looking
in
at
all
them.
the wrong ways. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just scoop out the sand of an eye socket. You know, this 65 million year old fossil. We'll just treat it like garbage.
Pick the gravel out of the nostrils.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Oh,
funny. It's like
God.
loose sand, you know. It's not
Never
even
get
like
him
hard
off the
rock.
road.
Yeah, imagine if it was just that easy. You just take a fucking wind machine and blow all the dust off. We've got a full skeleton, guys.
Or you're just sitting there and you just lean over and sneeze, and the dinosaur just appears in the dirt. You're like, oh, look at that.
You know what?
Like
That bit always makes me
Jurassic
laugh in
Park.
Jurassic World. Do they like re-excavate like a brand new fossil in every day so these kids can just hack the crap out?
Yeah.
This is a bit of paleontology kit that I kind of wish actually existed now. Is that shotgun?
Doesn't that actually
X-ray
exist?
scan.
I thought it did.
It doesn't exist at all. It's just like this made up thing that they've used for the film.
You sure?
And
I thought
would
that
have
was
thought,
real.
yeah.
They
Hmm.
do
No,
use
no.
They do use it to a shockwave, but it's not used for the same amount of. It's not as good as what the film makes it
Yeah.
out to be.
Yeah, they've got like geophys, haven't they? Where they walk it
Yeah.
along a field and it bounces off the
Yeah,
archaeology
that's
and
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not as good as this.
I thought by now we would have had this sort of technology down.
Mm.
You could just bounce scans and all sorts of shit into it.
These half-moon bear-shaped bones. Not one of these learns how to fly. I mean, no, seriously. Look at all that plaid.
Like a 6-foot turkey.
That's a lot of plaid.
Well, you little bastard. Don't know fuck all.
That's probably the most plaid has ever been on screen at once in any film.
I know,
amazing.
right? There's so much plaid in this scene.
It's oh my god.
Now, here's the thing, right? The Velociraptor in the Jurassic Park universe is big, right?
Yes.
So it's like, so they can't ever do like realistic Velociraptors unless they say like, you know,
Mhm.
they misclassified them or something. Like they can't. They're like legitimately in the world of Jurassic that big Velociraptors. It's
Yeah.
like,
Good point. Damn.
unless they
I
go,
was-
oh Grant, you got everything wrong except for everything else you got right.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll tell you another thing about this whole excavation thing as well. The chances of them finding a full skeleton complete on the first shot is like 1,000,000,000 to 1. Because most fossils don't fossilize the entire skeleton. They'll fossilize either parts or components or not even a full skull or something like that. So for them to literally shoot into the ground and see on the first try
Well, that's
a full complete Velociraptor skeleton.
Well, that's where you can
It's
go
like-
into the whole conversation about realism in these films, because obviously the raptor skeleton is just meant to be representative of Alan Grant doing digging on a velociraptor. It's not meant to be like one for one realistic, but because it's framed in such a way, and it's like, you know, you forgive it and it becomes believable.
Yeah.
Isn't Velociraptor not even in the United States? Like, isn't that
Yeah,
Dino.
earlier, I think. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
this film just retcons real life dinosaurs straight off the bat. Like,
It's
so
fucking-
far in this film, every dinosaur we've seen or ones they've talked about has been wrong.
Yeah, you always hear that about this film.
Best
Like
classic.
people will say, "Oh yeah, no, at the time it was right. At the time, the science was right at the
No.
time." But so much of it was wrong. Like
It's
the
just bullshit, all of
Dilophosaurus.
it.
Yeah.
It's funny. I hate this movie. Jeez.
Yeah, what a crap film.
It does make me laugh that we've watched Jaws 4 and Alien Resurrection before we got to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting because this shot here, the numbers on the helicopter are the right way round. So Grant opens the door and obviously the hinges change. So whoever built that set, or whatever one was done first, I guess that was a real caravan and this is a set. So
Yeah, this is probably a set. Yeah.
yeah, so whoever designed the set got the hinges wrong.
Mm.
Oh, I've just realised, or not realised, I've remembered something. Do you remember how I said my Project Wildlife on Mars was a unique idea?
Hmm.
I think I've been given a subliminal message from Jurassic Park. Because on the fridge, there's a newspaper article saying dinosaurs
Dinosaurs
on
on
Mars.
Mars. Yeah.
93, I've had this subliminal message beamed into my brain to do this stop motion.
And you'll
short
never guess
film.
what, guys. I've never noticed
on.
that says that on that. I've never known that.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the hell?
And
Ooh.
have you seen the
Oh,
Space Aliens Stole My Face?
Oh God, yes.
That's the one lower down.
That feels
Oh
like it's
my
from
God,
directly out of
well,
Men in
guys.
Black.
You better get prepared for some real changes to the Jurassic canon now. Dinosaurs on Mars. Oh, it's all going down now. You better, all you kids listening, you better be shaking in your little boots. Me and Tim are going to be getting our fingers to our keyboards. No, I'm kidding.
Space
That's the
Probe
side-
finds dinosaurs on Mars.
What,
Right there.
what you don't
Black
know
and
about
white.
InGen is they actually have a moon base out in space digging up dinosaurs. That's Site Z.
There is a Site J, isn't there? Which was for the JP Institute in Japan. They had all on in that like tour. They had like Site J stuff. It's like, how many sites are they? Jesus.
Dickie, we miss you.
Sign off on the park. Give it your endorsement.
Schedule.
What kind of park is that?
I can't remember who it was recently posted on. I think it was on Twitter saying that they didn't realise that Richard Attenborough is David Attenborough's brother. And they're just, a devoted fan to the Jurassic fandom. It's like, really? It's like you never put the two together. It's like Attenborough's in the name for a start.
Yeah. You should have him cameo in the next film. That'd be a cool
Yeah.
tribute.
That would actually.
Why would Alan Grant and Ellie have dinosaurs on Mars in their car? Why would they care about that alien stole my face? Like, what the hell?
Is it definitely their caravan? It's not a communal caravan, is it?
Oh, it might be. I don't know.
Probably
I don't
where
know
he-
because I guess they had their bloomin' drink in the fridge. That's what's making me think of it.
It's where they came up with the line for Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, we're introduced to Dodson. Dodson.
I hope he comes back in the third film, or at least not necessarily him, but Biosyn.
In Jurassic Park 3.
No, that bit,
He's just
God's
totally
sake.
erased it from his
Jurassic
memory.
World.
You don't get Dodson, you just get Cameron Thor in a different role.
San Juan, Costa Rica.
San Juan. Oh, God. Infamous San Juan.
We
For
got
those-
Dodson here.
So for those of you who might not know what San Juan is, I think Mike, you might not know this, but when we were watching Jurassic Park 3 for a commentary on Sam's channel, I had the subtitles on, and when they're approaching Isla Sorna, it says this is San Juan like air traffic control or something, and I was like, San Juan, and I looked up where that was. It's in the middle of the freaking Atlantic Ocean. It's nowhere near where these islands are meant to be. Or it's like near the Caribbean somewhere.
Throwing names out now for the sake of it.
Yeah, it's just like completely wrong.
This is Rio de Janeiro.
How many of you, when you were kids, seeing this film for the first time, wanted that Barbasol can to be real? I know in '93, I wanted that thing to be real. I was looking at Barbasol cans in the shelves thinking, I wonder if they all screw up and have that little bit on the inside, trying every single one of them.
I'll be honest, I never saw a single Barbasol can in real life.
It wasn't
Never
like
saw
over
one.
here, was it? It wasn't a brand over here.
It was like where was it?
Specialised.
It wasn't like Tesco or Sainsbury's or anything like that. It was like a specialist shop. So I don't know whether they just got them in specifically. It might have been one of those international type places you can get.
Well, that's I always wanted the night vision goggles when I was a kid. I was like, "Ooh, I want those." But I did used to imitate putting shaving cream on my hand and rubbing it on like the sponge in the bathroom, like the pie, try and get that perfect like little bit on my hand.
That was like sour cream or something for some reason coming out of the can. Putting on that pie, I'm like, I'm hungry. Feel bad for that person.
I always find this shot here like quite funny. Like you can really tell this is a set because of the way it's like wobbling around, and the camera's obviously in a place where it could never be.
Yeah, it's like a sitcom.
Yeah. You could just see them rocking it. It's like when you get the close-ups like this, when they've pushed the camera more, it sells the image better. Or like sells the thing. Aside from if you look out the window, you can see the set when it wobbles. You can see the green screen.
That's funny that. 'Cause Spielberg doesn't normally do stuff like that. He always tries to keep it like within
real
the vehicles and stuff, doesn't he? But that is obviously just stuck like over the ocean.
Yeah, it's like a kind of weird surreal shot. It's oh, here we go, classic. Everyone turn your freaking monetization.
Yeah, that's the only part I remember. My first viewing.
I always feel like they look like they're gonna fly into that like wall of trees there.
And the movie.
Yeah. I
say kill home. That's it.
I do love the boldness of this film, like all the colours and just like it is like just such an easy watch, isn't it? Like there's no doubt about that.
Well, do you think you can argue this film? I mean, I know other films have shot in Hawaii, but this is kind of like the first film that really kind of sold Hawaii to audiences as like a beautiful. As like a set piece.
I don't know. Did one of wasn't there like an old Tarzan film or something that did Hawaii? Can't remember.
Yeah,
now.
like Elvis did too.
But I know what you mean. This one probably was the first major one that really sold it on a global scale.
Yeah, I think like tourism kind of boosted for the film after this. Probably because of the dinosaur aspect. Like, oh, let's go to Hawaii and see some dinosaurs.
It was this and Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I do love the parallels of seeing that clean Jurassic Park logo when the door opens and then compares to the end of the film where it's all like covered in mud.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really only get one clean Jurassic Park film and everything else is like hideous over Site B.
Well, you wouldn't get the cleanliness back until like Blumman Jurassic World, but even then it's like a different kind of cleanliness.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
It's completely different colour palette as well, isn't it? It's all blues and chrome, whereas this is very much oranges and reds and
there is orange
greys.
with the Jurassic World sort of iconography because they've got like those big amber things on Main Street and those big columns.
Yeah, I suppose you could.
It isn't there. It's often overlooked for some reason, but it is there. But it's not like utilised the same. Spielberg would later rip off this whole John Hammond De Niro exchange with Peter Ludlow and Roland Tembo in the Jeep. Rip off his own film because he's a hack.
Didn't he say he wasn't gonna reference any of his movies in Ready Player One? And then he's like, fuck it. But
He puts everything in Ready Player One.
Puts a T-Rex, isn't he? Yeah, everything but Schindler's List, I think. Is Jaws in there?
It's got to be somewhere.
It probably is. It wouldn't surprise me if it's in like the chase sequence at the.
You see a shark flopping along.
Yeah, right.
There are some references in there, so it wouldn't surprise me if you got a Jaws reference in there somewhere, or Gremlins or anything like that.
I didn't see like E.T. or anything.
See, it's funny because like I watched this back now, and we're seeing the Brachiosaurus for the first time now, and it's crazy how like when you watch like obviously the advances of CGI, like to me, the weight and everything of this looks real. Like the way it moves and all, yeah, it still holds up. However, like I don't know if it's just me, but like it now looks a little bit too slow. Like it's almost, I don't know if it's just because of modern day where things go really fast. Just like this almost looks like it's going a bit too slow. But you know, it might just be, like I said, that might just be me.
I wouldn't say it feels too slow. If anything, I would say it doesn't feel as heavy as the later ones do. But then that might be down to things like that they haven't got the jiggle effects and the compression mechanics in the models at this stage.
I see. I'd take the opposite opinion on that. I think it's maybe, to me, it feels like it moves too slow, but it definitely feels heavier because of that. Like
I think a lot of what contributes to that, honestly, is the sound design. You know.
Yes, yeah. Sound is like 50% of film. Who said that? There's like, I can't remember who said that now. Is that Spielberg? I think it might have been Spielberg.
Right. He won the Oscar.
It did. I was going to say this did when it nominated for an award for its sound design.
It won. Yeah, it won.
It won. There you go. So
sound design and sound editing.
Yeah, I mean it's true because you know that like you're saying it feels slow or whatever, but I think the only thing that could save it is just the really slow gradual breath that it takes, like, you know, when it's like kind of swinging its leg around towards them.
I think it's unanimous that this film has the best sound design out of all of them. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, you can nitpick other things and discuss other things, but I think when it comes to the sound of the dinosaurs and like,
well,
this one, they're loud, they're monstrous. Like even the Brachiosaurus later on, when it like roars at Lex and Tim and Grant in the tree, like it doesn't sound friendly. It's like, oh god.
Right. Yeah. What about like Lost World? Do you think that's a close contender?
Well,
is it?
It's good, but there's one or two roars and stuff from the Rexes that sound really like canned. I think in that.
Yeah, they sound like
one just after the trailers go over the cliff and you can't see the Rexes, and one of the Rex roars is so bad. Well,
is it the one where it goes? Is it the one where it goes?
Yeah, it just sounds totally off.
Yeah, exactly like that, Jack.
Yeah, that's my T-Rex sound. Good day now.
The most advanced amusement park in the entire world.
That's how you can set James off. Just do one bit of a quote and then he'll finish it.
They need to have like a John Hammond role in the Universal parks for James to.
I'd love to. I'd dress up and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what though? You asked me
here we get John Hammond being a hypocrite.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like there's no rides. Here, come on this ride.
You know, there's one thing though. There is I probably couldn't do it in front of people. I'd get all like stage fright.
Look at this. So we're looking at this shot of John Hammond talking to himself, and obviously we know this already in the chat, but the John Hammond on screen is holding the cane that Lockwood holds in Fallen Kingdom. The canes are different if you look at them in this shot. And obviously this is the human cloning bit where John Hammond clones himself. So do you think now, like obviously they didn't know this at the time of making Jurassic Park, but do you think now with what we know about like Lockwood and Hammond's relationship, do you think Hammond made this video because he was like Lockwood was talking about, oh, you know, maybe one day we could clone humans or whatever?
Have you heard his Iron's radio play yet? Of this?
What this?
Of the
Extinction Level.
Yeah, no, it's not Extinction Level. It was the one that he did recently. I had to do the voices for it.
Oh no, I haven't heard that one yet.
Because this one, basically, he was doing this scene, and this was just after Lockwood's fallout, I believe. And Robert Muldoon bursts in while John Hammond is basically going over the lines and kind of saying, I think we should change it to Mr. DNA, not Dr. DNA, because it's a bit more friendlier to the public and stuff like that.
That's a great idea.
Giving his input and things like that. It'd be good to talk to Arjan actually about this, because this is one of the things.
I just think, like, because obviously they got that Lockwood's cane is not like, it's a very small detail, but it's not a mistake. Like, that's the fact that Hammond is holding the same cane that Lockwood has in Fallen Kingdom is like, okay, what I'm trying to get my head in the minds of like Colin, who are making the new ones. Obviously, I don't know everything, so I'm like, okay, so they specifically chose that cane. This also happens to be in the scene where Hammond's cloning himself fakely on this video, and obviously Lockwood would go and later clone Maisie. So it's like, I'm just trying to think like the time frame.
This is the cloning cane.
Yeah, he just touches it on someone and they get cloned. It's like a magic wand.
It's a scepter.
So then, how would Lockwood have got it? Do you think just he's gifted it him, or he's...
Well, I think maybe Hammond just didn't have his when they were recording that thing for the ride, and he was like, "Let me hold your cane, Lockwood." Like, just that's how I imagine it going down.
Yeah, like it was still getting made or something.
Yeah, so Lockwood would still be around at this time, I could imagine. Because obviously, I'm just saying, just for preference, I have no idea about the timing of like that sort of stuff. So that's all guesswork on my end. I'm like,
I took it from seeing that he had the model of Jurassic Park in his bedroom.
Yeah, so he was around at this point.
He was around at this point, so I reckon the fallout must have happened. But I mean, we don't even know whether it was that he decided to clone humans, they fell out, and then he did the video, or whether the video actually inspired him to do the cloning of his daughter in the first place.
Yeah.
So I've always thought it was the latter, personally, that he got after doing the video, he thought, maybe I should clone my daughter, and then that's when the fallout happened.
I always like the idea of Maisie's mum being one of the first deaths on the island that he's so ashamed of that it's all conspiracy. And
that'd be cool.
But I just found it's like, obviously when they introduce characters like Lockwood later on, it's like, you know, they can only do so much to actually show that he was there in the past because the film's already been made. So it's like, I appreciated the fact that tiny little detail, and it was pointed out to me by some fan online. I was like, oh my god, they've gone that, okay, this is getting interesting now. I was like, okay, Lockwood's cane's there in the human cloning scene. It's like, okay, they are thinking about these films even more than I am. It's like, Jesus. So I've never noticed that cane was different until that moment, and I was like, But now I'm learning that there's bloody dinosaurs on Mars, so who knows what else this film has to hold. Jesus.
It's our first continuity error shot.
Yeah.
Never picked up on that until years later.
What's that one?
I think it's...
I'm not watching it, sorry.
It's the robot hand holding the egg and then just disappearing.
Oh, it just disappears, yeah.
That always bothered me as a kid. Because the sound is it won an Oscar for sound, but 1 minute the sound of that arm is there going zzz, and then the next is gone.
Time has passed between the shots.
Yeah.
I like the little...
So here's another thing to think about with this, another recent development that I've had and we've talked about before, but like not like this. Obviously, this raptor coming out of the egg obviously is meant to be like a little animatronic in real life it was a little animatronic, so it could only do so much. But in the story of the film, he's helping it get out of the egg, and it looks really pathetic and it looks weak as shit. Like, it doesn't look healthy. But then when we see raptor eggs later on in the park, you see that they've hatched and run off basically into the wilderness. So had they left this raptor to be born in this incubator here, do you think it would eventually have sat there breathing and then it would have got up and walked away, or do you think it actually needs sort of help?
Probably, yeah.
I think that
it seems to be the first one out with that little clutch of eggs, doesn't it? So maybe it's premature and that's why it's all fucked up. Possibly. Don't know.
I'll just
considering that at that nest site that we see later on, we don't see any adult footprints at all.
Yeah, that's what's giving it away for me.
I would think that it would be quite. I mean, it might take a bit of time for him to kind of build up the strength to walk, but we see in nature already that an animal is born within minutes. It's either standing up on its two legs or it's at least upright enough to be able to start walking within a couple more minutes later.
Yeah. Because I just like to think that this raptor probably would be able to help itself after a while, but it's it doesn't look good when it comes out of the egg. It looks like it's pretty pathetic.
I do think it's part of the show, though, at the same time. Like, Hammond's trying to, if we're going to go by how The Lost World we're trying not to retcon this park. The Lost World saying, oh, everything happens in Site B and they ship it over and it was just a show. If that is the case, then this is Hammond sort of pretending, I guess, to be hands-on with this dinosaur to sort of say, okay, so this is how, in theory, this is how we get a good relationship with the animals by being present for the birth of all of them. And obviously him helping it, necessarily he shouldn't do, because that's nature's way of strengthening the animal. But him doing that, I've never really looked at it as it being a weak. I just looked at it as him sort of just letting these guys see this thing firsthand.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't.
I also had a theory, just a stupid idea, that maybe Hammond's told Wu, here, I've got these scientists coming, let's put on a show. And he's told him to wake one of them up, prematurely, injected the egg to induce its hatching. So that it's too
when you look at the shot of Hammond looking at Grant when this cow's being eaten, he's looking at him yes, come on, let's get this idea. So you like raptors, and it just so happens to be a raptor that's born when Alan Grant enters the room. It's it's almost too perfect, and
he's trying to win him over.
I really think Spielberg. I think you're right, Siki. I think Spielberg did lay the groundwork, or at least put little clues in there to sort of suggest that perhaps this is too contrived to be the legit experience, and that's what basically Malcolm's seeing through. That's why he's just lounging around. He's this is all this is all bullshit.
Taking it a step further.
That's one of the best transitions as well, from the baby to the adult.
Yeah.
Like that
the
sort of noise. Yeah. And when, like you said about Hammond, looking at Hammond's face when it's all noisy, and he's just looking at Hammond, he's just looking like, that looks like the novel Hammond.
Yeah.
Coming out of him, almost like the businessman, not the little granddad that we all love.
Yes, there's definitely another side to him. Yeah, so going on that, the whole showmanship, he set the whole thing up to impress. How much does he know about Grant? Does he know that when he was a kid, his favorite dinosaur was the Triceratops, and that's why he's had that trike sedated? He's told Jerry Hardin or whatever he's called.
Well, he knows a lot about Grant. He does fund his dig site.
Yeah. And then Hammond, all of a sudden, the next thing, Grant comes along like a big pile of cash. Oh, how did he know?
Yeah, it's like the shot of Ellie digging her hands into a big pile of shit. The camera pans over and Alan's digging his hands into a big pile of money.
How did he know?
Yeah, but it's so he sees the raptors, he gets the baby raptor, he's proper looking at his reaction at this section here, and then it's a Triceratops that he sees up close. It's
Well, yeah, I don't know if the Triceratops is, because as I think obviously no one predicted Grant was going to jump out of the vehicle, as they say. But I know what you mean. It's like you could go down that rabbit hole and think that, but I think there is more, because that ride, it's almost too perfectly set up for that moment. Especially the fact that it's a raptor egg as well and all that.
Don't you see like him and wink at Wu when he says, "Henry, why didn't you tell me?"
Yeah, there's some. Oh god, I'm gonna have to. Well, I won't rewind it, but yeah, I think there's more. I'm gonna have to watch Hammond and Wu looking at each other in that scene.
Yeah, just winks at him hard.
Definitely a lot of kind of like subtle hints and kind of like backhand handshakes going on when you really pay attention in this film, isn't there?
Yeah. I like this. What's that? Sorry.
I was just saying backhand deals, money deals.
This whole room,
well,
you know, like
just like backhand deals, but just kind of like, we will make sure this happens, or make sure get 2 kids on, but make sure that my grandkids are not just
oh yeah, the kids,
prize winners or something.
The kids on the island is definitely Hammond playing up to impress Grant and Ellie. He's trying to show.
He has to get these scientists on his side, doesn't he? He has to make it look as safe and as perfect as possible, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
To be honest, I think the one that he needs to impress the most is Gennaro.
Well, yeah, but he does that instantly just by showing him a dinosaur. He's like, "Wow, we're going to make a fortune with this place."
Could you imagine if this film didn't have Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum? It was just Hammond and the lawyer. It would be a very, very different film altogether.
Yeah, and those two get lost in the park and have to like.
You know what? I really wish though they would have brought. I know they made kind of Gennaro as a mixture of the two, but made Ed Regis. Because in the book he plays a great. I like him as a character because he's like the PR guy as well.
Yeah.
And he would have been good on screen to watch, I think.
I always found.
I'm going Yaroslav.
What was that?
I was gonna say go on Yaroslav.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask, like, who do you think, like, book version Gennaro? Who do you think embodies him in the movie? Do you think it'd be more like Malcolm? Or...
If I'm honest, I don't think anyone in the film represents Book Gennaro.
No, I'd say I guess Owen.
Owen is probably the closest we get to Book Gennaro.
That's funny.
Like what sort of person, like actor, would I see playing him? Probably someone like him, yeah. Someone that's like quite a big built sort of guy, athletic. Not necessarily Dwayne Johnson, but like. Although I would love Dwayne Johnson in a Jurassic movie, I like him.
No, I wouldn't want to. Keep him well away. Keep him away.
I know, but I like him though. I
like him too, but he's not cut for Jurassic.
They like chokeslam a raptor.
It's the same as Vin Diesel. I don't want Vin Diesel in a Jurassic film. There's a certain cut of actor you just like.
I know. I know it would take it down from being. It'd take the seriousness away from the film. I know that.
I'd say. Well, I wouldn't say it take it down. It just take it into a completely different direction that is different.
Yeah, you'd get more of Owen in the auction room stuff, wouldn't you?
Well, it's not just that. It's because that I'm okay with to a certain degree, but it's like it's more the what's the word I'm looking for? Just the sort of the sort of jokes and the way he holds himself.
The expectation.
The eyebrow raising.
You know what you're getting. Yeah, could you imagine T-Rex raw in the background and he does the people's eyebrow?
He just turns around people's eye. Yeah, so for God's sake. It would be too fourth wall breaking. That's what I mean. Like, I think Owen, for me, rides that line, like, close. He rides it close. So for some people, he goes well over it. But, like, for me, he rides it just on the edge where I'm like, okay, this is passable.
This is acceptable
as a character.
Enough.
Yeah, it's like he's acceptable to a degree. But I think that's also can be enhanced by just the mood of the movie you're watching. Like, I talk about this all the time. If you actually break down what the characters are actually doing, It doesn't do anything that's any different than what we've seen before, but it will be like packaged in the tone and everything of the rest of the movie, so it will heighten it, so it will feel more OTT.
Yeah.
Than like what you get in these sort of movies, because obviously they're limited by technology and stuff.
Do you know why I think this film really works with, and why none of the others have been able to sort of, I guess I know you can't recreate a red magic because once it's out the box you've already seen it, so it's impossible to recreate that again. It's sort of just continuously to deliver, isn't it? With this, I feel like when you're watching this film, the way it's done, the way it's filmed, the dialogue is that you're experiencing the same thing as the characters are experiencing.
Yeah, you're going on the safari.
Yeah.
You're seeing everything the same way they're seeing it. Whereas in the other films, you're kind of along for the ride. And
you already know what you're going to get as well.
Yeah, and you're kind of along, almost watching it from a third person perspective. Yeah, so you're looking on. You're almost like a CCTV camera watching them the whole time. Whereas on this, you're kind of wondering especially for the first time you're watching it. You're like, you're in the car with them. What is that? Do you know what I mean?
Well, the majority of the movie, a good portion of this movie is journeying to this island and going on the tour, getting in the tour cars and doing all that sort of stuff. And you've got just as many questions as the characters do.
Yeah.
Whereas you get to Lost World and you're with Malcolm and he's like, yeah, that's how it always starts. And later there's running and screaming. You're like, yeah, we're with Malcolm this time. We already know what's about to happen. But it's not like anyone went into Jurassic Park and didn't expect the park to just go perfectly well.
Yeah.
We all knew the dinosaurs were going to get out.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of atmosphere,
I know what you mean. Like films like Avatar do the same thing, where you're like, you don't know who this culture is, you don't know what this planet's like, and you follow Jake as he goes and explores. Same with Harry Potter, same with Star Wars, with bloody Luke Skywalker going off with the rebellion for the first time. It's like, it's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, the one thing, they'll never be able to recapture the magic of the first film. It's impossible, because it's like, it's a time, and it's like all the mixtures and the ingredients were just right at the time. You're never going to get that again.
I get that, and I completely understand. And I think they did make this film at the right time. Like, it was made at the right time, because if this was made today, you wouldn't get any of the quirky stuff that makes this film what it is, like the Samuel Jackson.
Well, you'd get, well, I mean, for one thing you wouldn't get nowadays is the chain smoking. There's your first thing that changes.
Yeah, and the technology being how it is kind of works, I think.
Yeah, so all those, that's all like
chunky,
Yeah, it's all old
like
tech.
CD-ROM and all that sort of thing. And as much as the old tech, like, you look at that and you think, oh my god, look at the state of that. But I think it works well with the way the movie goes. If it was all like state of the art technology, everyone would be like, oh, it wouldn't, like, that's why Jurassic World works how it is. It's very relevant.
Well, it's just keeping up with the times, but I think why some people turn away from Jurassic World is it goes a little bit like with holograms. The holograms especially, like, I get why people are like, that's too futuristic, because we don't have that technology. Like, it just doesn't exist.
Yeah, that was brave when they put that in.
The thing is, that's like the I completely understand that, but I, like, for the whole hologram aspect of it, I'm just like, well, at least they limited it. It's not like there's holograms freaking everywhere. It's like, it seems like in the universe, it's a limited technology that is super expensive and only a certain number of people have access to.
Right.
But anyway, so.
It's kind of like T-Rex Planet now.
Yeah.
What, the gods creates dinosaurs?
Yeah, it's exactly the bit we're on.
God creates man.
It's a shame that they don't show the feeding area better in this shot, because the whole kind of like 40-foot drop argument is that, I mean, you look at the blueprints of the tip it had for making the set and everything, it makes more sense.
Or you can go
but,
onto Yaroslav. You'll have something to say about this because you, for the DPG website, I got you to paint the T-Rex paddock, and I was like, "Here you go, finally show the hill."
Yeah, we solved the riddle.
We solved it. There's a shot here where we arch up and see the goat, and you can kind of see the tree line dips, but because trees are all like trees, it's like you can't.
I do think, like, if you look closely to where the tunnel leads out, the fencing is slightly different now.
Mm.
So you could possibly say that there's also the fence sort of goes in a T shape away from the road.
Yeah. So wait, did they?
We just can't sort of see it, but it could be there and it could break, and that's where the car falls.
Yeah. Well, did they build this T-Rex paddock in Hawaii and then recreate it on a stage?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
The set, I think the Hurricane Carissa destroyed it, didn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Or Hurricane Aniki, whatever it's called.
I don't think they would have been able to film it on location for the Rex sequence anyway, because they couldn't move the Rex animatronic off the I think I can't remember if it was the Stan Winston lot or what it was only like a couple rows down, but yeah, they couldn't move that, so they had to rebuild it elsewhere.
Right.
I talk too fast.
Has anyone actually tried to do this to seduce a woman?
No, only Malcolm could ever pull this off.
Alan, look at this.
He like tugs on her hair.
God, when I was a kid and I had this on VHS, the amount of times I would pause that shot of when Grant's looking out and try and see the trike. I'm like, where is it? Where is it?
I was pretty sure I could see it when I was a kid. There was a mound in the middle of that field, and I thought, that's the Triceratops. That's got to be the Triceratops. I don't think it is. I think it's just a discoloration in the dirt or something.
I swear, like a few minutes ago. Oh no, don't ignore me. Ignore me. I was like in my head going, there were other staff members in that control room in the last scene. And then I was like, oh, yeah, but they're going to be heading to that boat, aren't they, that Nedry's about to get on. So it's like, okay.
5 minutes, stop what you're doing, leave there. Everyone noticed how Gennaro says moving. I think we need to get moving. He says it proper, like, weird. Listen out for it.
I will do.
Need to get moving.
You guys with Bell and a bucket.
There's I guess there's loads of people still in the control room. We just saw them.
I told you how
messy his desk was.
Yeah.
I thought it was his desk. I didn't realise it transmitted to the floor as well.
Mechanisms on the vehicle.
Alan Grant's just getting berated about how crap his book is, just constantly. His book's a lot fatter than yours. It's like this. At least yours was illustrated.
That book that Timmy's carrying.
Isn't it a fake book cover? And it's like, isn't it? Like it says introduction by Richard Attenborough on it. It's really fun.
No idea.
Yeah, there is. There's like a picture. There's like a scan of the back cover, and there's like a test. It looks like a Alan Grant like test costume, and he's like kneeling down, and he's like got a totally different outfit on.
I'm gonna have a look for it.
Did you guys get round to watching our Steve's little box opening he did the other day?
Oh, didn't see that one.
Oh yes, he did the Jurassic Park box set. It's from the island. You get like the island map and everything. Go on our channel, like tomorrow and have a look. It's quite a good one. You get loads of stuff in it. You get trading cards and all sorts.
Okay.
There you go, Mike. I just posted in the Discord chat the cover of that book that Timmy's holding. Because it's Dr. Grant's book that he's holding. And he's like, his book was a lot fatter than yours. It was like this. And he's holding his book.
Oh, that's a shame. I really want to own that book.
Yeah. But you see, it says forwarded by Sir Richard Attenborough at the bottom.
What's everyone's thoughts on this trike animatronic, considering this is
It's
operated
good.
by just 3 guys?
It's great. I think it's done really well. It still
really
still
good.
holds up. It don't look like you compare it to the Stegosaurus one. It's like night and day in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. I mean, it helps that it's all drowsy.
Yeah, I've never looked at that and see the jolt. You know how like sometimes they all have little jitters and jolts. This one, I've never ever thought that ever once.
Yeah.
So I don't know who it was, but one of the operators on the inside, you had Shannon Shea operating the arm, but then you had 2 other operators, one operating the breathing apparatus and one operating the tongue and the eyes and what have you. So when Sam Neill throws himself onto the belly of the trike, the guy doing the breathing didn't know he was going to do that, so he was just pumping up and down, and then suddenly gets this massive weight drop on top of him, and then he's trying to redo the same mechanism without given that fact it's like operated by a person with a stick.
Is that how Sam Neill went to court about murdering the guy who was inside the trike because he suffocated him by landing on him? He died inside that trike.
I've got a picture of inside that. Do you want to see that?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I've only seen one, so if it's the same one, then
It's
I've
probably.
seen
I think it's the only one that exists so that you can find. It's Dave Grasso's the guy. Here he is. This is like a picture taken up inside, and you can see the little separate section that moves up and down as if it's breathing.
God, he looks like my friend David. My
That's
God.
the one I've seen, yeah. So it was him that would have had to make do with Sam
So that's
Neill.
like in a hole underground in Hawaii.
Oh, Jerry Harding.
Another useless cast. Don't know. Not very good at his job.
It's a shame they never kind of wrapped up this storyline.
We know they did shoot it though. We know it was put to film.
Definitely did shoot it. Okay.
Yeah. But I think. Oh, go on.
Later on, you see both Timmy and Ellie have got the pebbles in the hands, the stones.
Yeah, they're holding them in the background.
Yeah, like playing with them.
The thing is, though, it's like. Oh wait, I want to hear Gennaro say this. Moving.
We have to get moving.
Yeah, she's got the pebbles in her hands now. Is this the shot?
Yeah. It's the gallstones, isn't it? That's supposed to be swallowed.
But I think the reason probably why Stevens decided to, we can cut this out. It doesn't really matter. Is because it's like it's just there to basically represent that they don't know how to look after the dinosaurs. It's like that's more of the point than actually solving what made the dinosaurs sick. The same with the Brachiosaurus sneezing and having a cold. It's like they're not suited for this time period, and I do kind of wish the films had gone deeper into that a little bit, especially in the second one when you've got like the dinosaurs are adapting. You could have had like a scene where they discover like a load of dead ones where they're like, yeah, these ones didn't adapt or something. One sick Triceratops. Could have been worse, John.
My only gripe with that shot is when he's twirling that amber cane, you can see the resin pour line that they would have used for casting that, and it's so bloody obvious, and you can't get away from it. But, oh my God!
Hey, Hammond didn't. He spared some expenses on his cane being made.
Isn't it a crane fly as well?
Yeah, it's a crane fly. The mosquitoes are much smaller, so they wouldn't have actually looked any good.
Unless it's meant to be like some sort of fictional prehistoric mosquito, so they're meant to be like bigger.
In the prehistoric era, it was like 50 times bigger than what it is today.
Oh, you could even say it is a crane fly, and it is just fake resin because that's just what Hammond had made. He just cheaped out and got something fake.
Yeah.
Like they had a real mosquito, but it was like
it was a genuine piece.
Yeah. Oh, it was just like, that's not flashy enough. That mosquito's way too small. I need something bigger. Stick a crane fly in.
I love this shot of Grant and Malcolm, and this is another one like the helicopter. You can tell the plants are on like a conveyor belt going past the window, and like they're just bobbing the camera up and down every now and then.
It works though.
It does work. It's so
Yeah,
obvious.
The plants like they don't just go to the side, like go round and then away from the camera,
Yeah.
like into the distance slightly.
I love all those sort of effects because it's like invites you into the movie making process.
Yeah.
Nedry's now entering the decontamination process.
Did I ever tell you, Jack, about my story with Samuel L. Jackson?
No.
The story, it's more just kind of like a happy coincidence. When he was shooting the Tim Burton film, Peregrine's, what was it called now? What was the film called? Miss Peregrine's Home for Unfortunate Children or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
He
that.
was filming that in Blackpool, and he was staying in the hotel literally like 2 streets away from me. So I could literally just walk out the front door, go across the road, and he would be there. And while he was filming, he was sat outside the front of this hotel, and I didn't do it, but what I wanted to do was go up to him and ask him if he could do a voice message of just one arm to say that Ray Arnold actually had survived Jurassic Park. I bottled out at the last minute. I couldn't do it, but apparently he was a really lovely guest at the hotel, so that was always fun.
He'd have probably done it, I think.
Yeah.
He probably would have done.
He'd put like all of his effort into that.
God damn! Where's my arm?
My motherfucking
my
arm.
goddamn arm? Hate this one arm crap.
Motherfucking Blackpool.
Now I know why it's not called White Pool.
That got me, that one.
I knew that was coming. Jesus.
Yeah.
Sick
This
minds.
should be called White Pool.
God.
Hell no.
He's great. What a legend of stage. What stage of film?
Wayne Knight pushing through the gates. This is one of my favourite shots in the film, is him forcing open the gates for the Jeep.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
like his
think
soundtrack
they'd
as
be
well.
that easy to move either.
Yeah, again, Hammond. He spared some expense.
Plywood.
Yeah. This is the important part. He left the Raptor paddocks on. And why the hell would he turn the other ones off? Because he knows.
Robert, when are you good enough to take a gas jeep? Bring back your sock collection.
A good shot. I like that shot.
Is that the one from when the car drives over the camera?
Yeah.
They do repeat. Trevorrow repeated that shot a couple of times in Jurassic World. Like,
Yeah,
just,
he did, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, during the Raptor chase, the car, the ATV and the Raptors run over the camera in a very low angle like that. That's what I prefer as like homages more than actual, like proper, like when the T-Rex roars in a similar position at the end of Fallen Kingdom. It's like, while it is facing the opposite way and stuff, and I can sort of doesn't bother me too much, but I prefer like when they do things like use similar camera angles.
Yeah.
But like ones that you don't really think of, like that, like the ones that aren't too obvious and in your face.
What do you think about Maisie getting in the dumb waiter, like Lex?
Oh, I'll answer that in a second. My laser disc needs to be turned.
Oh,
Everyone pause.
intermission. Laser disc. I've got a couple of the laser discs, but I don't have any. I'll have to get a laser disc player.
Should be going quite cheap these days, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I'd like to check them out.
What surprised me about Blu-rays, I remember when they used to be like going for like hundreds of pounds at one point, and now looking at them, it's like you can get them for like next to nothing. It's like, Christ.
Okay, I'm back.
You're back.
I'm gonna click play. Where is it? Play. Okay. Anyway,
The
yeah.
goat in the rain.
I think Maisie in the dumbwaiter, she should have just climbed into it and then just pulled it down. Like they you think they're going to do that same sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't. It doesn't get jammed. She just pulls it down, goes up. Like, okay. Okay, I'm now looking at the goat.
You then.
Yeah, and the cars. We're into the Where are you in the T-Rex attack sequence?
I've just got up to Grant getting back into the car.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm a few seconds behind you guys. See, here's. Do you know what I've just realised? This Laserdisc is like a kid's dream. They can just put the second disc on side 2 and you're instantly at the T-Rex breakout sequence. You don't need to bother with that first half.
Nice.
Where'd you
You got
find
your
those?
heads?
In the box under my seat? Are they heavy? Expensive. Put them back.
Put them back.
I'd love Timmy just to be like, fuck off. And then he just puts it on.
You
Smashed
you
it
are
out
telling me
around
what
the
to do.
face.
Yeah, they are expensive. Oof.
It's funny, these are...
mate, my granddad owns the place, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bill it to my granddad.
My granddad's a billionaire, you dickhead.
Thing is, those night vision goggle props, they're the exact same ones that would be later seen in Jurassic World that Gray holds up.
Mm.
They're the ones that are all like sort of fucked up. It's age got to them.
Hammond comes on the intercom. Gennaro, shut the fuck up.
Let my little Timmy play with the night vision goggles.
Yeah. Turn that light off.
So here's the thing, right? The power's gone out. They didn't think to put any communication between this car and the control room. Like, none whatsoever. No radios, no second option for
considering
calling.
it's built on geothermal power, you'd think they'd have some sort of telephone.
Yeah, or just like a
Right.
radio in the
Backup
emergency
system.
Yeah.
something, yeah.
But to be fair, the whole fence situation, there's no way you're telling me that if they didn't have locking mechanisms on the doors, right?
There's your
which
first
they're
problem.
right, I know, but if they didn't, then that tells me that this tour is set to have a toilet break, to have picnic.
Well, yeah, they have
benches at
they have the
some point.
toilets. Yeah, they were going to have
Exactly.
like this stop
So-
here. Yeah, no,
so-
James, you're right. Like the whole area around the T-Rex paddock is like open on the other side. So yeah, you're right. There might be a calf there eventually, and all. That's
But
a
there
good
should
idea.
there should be another fence system between that and the security paddock, because a kid could just walk up to that fence and touch it.
Yeah, you see like little kids walk up and they get blasted across the.
Like you got a school trip. Let's go Jurassic World.
Yeah, you're right.
30 of them
You're
come
right.
Running over.
This park is so badly made. Like the death
What
trap.
was John Hammond thinking?
It really is. The more you
Like-
think about it, it's like, my God.
Don't get me wrong. If there was like another fence in front, then that's fine. But it's just
Yeah,
You
Well,
are
that's-
really
climbing
well, that's
all over
the-
that wall, wouldn't it?
yeah.
that's-
Oh yeah.
Like, this wouldn't even be a normal zoo, never mind a fucking dinosaur.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, that's the thing. This park looks awesome. Like, we all love the look and the way they designed this park. But when you think about the practicality of what they're doing, it's the worst park ever designed.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
so
shocking.
bad.
So shocking.
God, we're getting the T-Rex coming out now and roaring.
Bit of fun trivia for you guys. This shot here where the T-Rex is breaking out,
Mm.
that's a stop motion armature rigged
Yeah.
up to the computer. So it's a CG skin with a stop motion animation underneath it.
Yeah, it's pretty
So when
pretty
people say
unique.
that they like the CG in this film,
They like the stop
essentially
motion.
what they're complimenting is it's the complementing stop motion.
The puppeteers, yeah. Yeah, because they moved, when they manipulated the armature, it fed that data into the computer, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's fucking genius.
And those armatures are nasty. I spoke to one of the animators who reanimated one of them for a documentary coming out at some point soon. And
Oh, cool.
his fingers and thumbs are shredded to hell because of the amount of sharp gears that are on those things.
Wow.
Well, that's how Samuel L.
He's one of the
Jackson lost
originals
his
as well.
arm during this film, is he animated the T-Rex. That's what really happened. And Spielberg was like, "Oh, we can use your arm in a scene." He's like, "Give me back my motherfucking arm."
such a good scene. This.
Iconic eye shot.
That eye dilating. Insane.
The yellow eye.
It's blue at this time. It's caked in blue light. What are you talking about? I don't see yellow.
Remember when they showed that pupil dilation technique in Stan Winston school? It's such a simple little technique, but it's so effective to make a believable animatronic.
Yeah. That's the only shot in this film of the animatronic T-Rex I don't like. That overhead shot of the kids playing with the torch and the T-Rex is looking down on it, like it's all jittering.
He's got Parkinson, yeah.
But that's obviously, because of the water and stuff. I don't blame the filmmakers. It's just, it's just a bit like.
So why didn't they retake
roboty.
that?
I think it was the
Time.
shooting schedule.
Maybe, yeah.
Because the amount of time it would take for the animatronic to dry off, it was eaten into their production time. So a majority of the shots I think they used were either the first or second take. I don't think there were many reshoots.
Yeah, that was probably the best take, wasn't it?
I wonder what the other ones look like.
This is sound design. It's insane.
Yeah, I remember when this came out, the 3D re-release. It was the first time I saw that movie in theaters. And I was genuinely, actually pretty scared. Like, I've seen this movie millions of times, and then my first, proper, surround sound cinematic experience, and I actually, noticed myself getting kind of, there's, a lot of suspense build up to the scene, and then, everything happening was so loud, and I'm like, holy shit, this is actually fucking scary. I understand why, people were terrified when they saw this.
I got that in with the 2011 re-release, which is still my favourite experience ever watching this movie. It was just so loud. The cinema was just, shaking. I was like, my God, this is amazing. But it made me, on the edge of my seat. I was like, yeah, I'm getting a bit scared by this.
Yeah.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was going to say I saw this at the IMAX for the I think was it 25th anniversary of the 3D re-release.
Yeah.
They
re-released it in 2011 for the Blu-rays, and then again for that 3D version. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
that was 2013. The 3D
I
release.
was sat in the wrong position for the 3D IMAX experience. I was lower right-hand corner sort of thing. So I should have gone straight to the back really to appreciate it.
Yeah.
You just don't get the same effect.
I'll say this, when I saw the 3D re-release, I went to the Waterloo IMAX in London, and I'll say I actually didn't enjoy my experience watching it at all from start to finish. I was sitting there, I hated the 3D version of this film. I was like, everything looks weird, it's all different colours.
I liked it, me.
Oh,
I think there's a JP Legacy post where I say it's the best way to watch the film.
Oh God! Well, the thing is, I haven't watched it. Yeah, I haven't watched it since. I've got the 3D version. I just don't have a 3D TV, so I haven't actually sat down and watched it. But I just remember I was like, "What have they done to this movie?" But then later on, obviously, you find out that they've been color correcting it from the beginning. So I'm like, okay, well. And it's nice to have a different version, I guess. But I'm just like, what happened to Muldoon's legs? It's like they've freaking made them really wide, and Ellie's head's all malformed. And they added lightning flashes during the whole thing that looked really weird. And I was like, why have they done that?
I did when I got the 3D one when it came out on DVD. But like most things, it's up being a gimmick. But when I was really interested to see how it was, and to be fair, it does look good in 3D on your home video, but you have to sit at the right angle. If you sit at the wrong angle, it looks completely off.
Yeah, I think they did a good job.
Yeah, there's some
considering
good.
It was post conversion.
Didn't Aaron Beyer work on that?
He works on. I think he did. Yeah.
He did. He did work on it. Yeah.
Yeah, when I say
Yeah,
like I
Jurassic
didn't
World.
like it, I didn't mean the actual 3D-ness of it. The 3D-ness of it was fine. I just didn't like what they did with the actual look at the film. I just was like,
Yeah.
oh god, the colour.
Mm.
Didn't they
warping.
change the framing of it as well?
Yeah, they stretched it and
T-Rex's
did
head's
stuff.
like cut out and
Mm.
all that sort of thing at the end.
The raptor bits were good in 3D.
Yeah,
Thumbs
when
up
it jumps
again.
up to get
Like,
Lex, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the best shot in the 3D conversion was when the kids and Grant are climbing the fence and the camera like pans underneath the fence and moves across. I thought that was mind blowing. That
Yeah.
So he was driving along and he says there's the road, but he missed the turning. I'm just trying to think how this road system works because he sees the road down like this hill. Like what?
I think
but
it's
he
like
was
a sloping road sort of thing. So it like S curves down the hill to get to that lower platform.
But he just
That's what I'm guessing.
smashed through the white fence, didn't he? Like they turn.
Right. Okay. So this is technically the same road that he was on.
I think so. Like it would bend towards the camera at this point and then curve round into the cave.
Right.
And
Okay.
he just smashed through the bend, but it could be totally like messed up geography.
Yeah.
Here you go. The Dilophosaurus coming down. This was a whole set, wasn't it? This wasn't like shot on location.
This was a raised set. So
yeah, so they can animate.
What Nedry's on right now is it is more or less solid ground, but then when it starts getting up to the actual the hillside, that's all raised set.
Isn't it funny how this just doesn't look like a set? Like it's like because I guess it's rainy and it's murky and everything, but this is night and day between this and Jurassic Park 3's forest sets.
I don't know. It goes all really quiet, doesn't it? This bit when he's putting the rope around the tree trunk and
you drop the music score.
Yeah, no music. It's all ambient sounds. Oh, I love the Dilophosaurus in this. It's like it's such a genius idea for an animal.
Don't know if this was done deliberately in terms of the design, but I found out recently that the Dilophosaurus is related in terms of its lineage to T-Rex. And if you look at the Dilophosaurus face at certain angles,
it looks like the T-Rex.
They have a very similar sort of skull structure. And I don't know if that was done deliberately or whether it was just a happy coincidence.
Well, Mr. Mike Tharm, I'll read from you this Jurassic Park booklet from the Laserdisc. And it says here, Dilophosaurus, this creature is one of the least known meat-eating dinosaurs. It was related to Megalosaurus, the first dinosaur to be named by William Buckland in 1824. So they were probably basing it off more of like a large theropod. So they went, hey, we've got the T-Rex.
We'll do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's potentially why. It's the raised pointy eye ridges, I think, that do it.
Yeah, that stuff that they sprayed in Wayne Knight's face, the venom. It was KY jelly and like very light purple dye or dark purple dye. And the guy who made that mixture called Shannon Shea, he said that when they hit him in the face with it, it stained his face. Yeah, but like the direct, like I don't know if it was like maybe it was like Stan Winston came running up to him and said, "Oh my god, like you need to come and like help Wayne Knight," and Shannon Shea was like, "Oh my god, I've blinded him. I've wrecked his eyesight." And then he turns up and he's like, "Oh no, it's just stained his face." So Shannon Shea's like, "Oh well, what's the problem?" And then Stan Winston goes, "He's filming Seinfeld in like an hour. He has to go over to the set." So apparently they had to cover Wayne Knight's face with makeup to like hide the purple dye.
They caked his face in makeup because no matter how much they put on, the purple just kept seeping through.
Yeah, so isn't there like an episode of Seinfeld where Wayne Knight's like looks totally fucked up because his face is covered in like foundation?
I've never watched Seinfeld, but it probably won't surprise me.
It's funny to think, like, I always imagine them, like, you know, that makeup gun Homer has in the episode of The Simpsons? That's how I imagine them applying that Dilophosaurus spit to Wayne Knight. They just have this, like, shotgun behind the camera. They're like, you ready?
Oh, damn! I had it to Spitter Venom. I'll have to change it.
I love this sequence of the car in the tree. It's awesome.
Do you know what though? One thing I thought about this Dilophosaurus. Imagine if this isn't the full size one, or the one that in Jurassic World isn't the full size one. Imagine if they did do that 20-foot, 25-foot version, which is 10 feet high.
great.
Imagine how big that spit would be.
We'd just be covered in it like a freaking.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because you got to think it's just like if that was the.
In it, wouldn't you?
Well, if that was the case, it's like designed to like take down huge prey with that spit. Alan Grant holding onto the steering wheel. Come on, man! Don't do that. Don't do that. That's the worst place to hold.
Something I meant to raise before, actually. The shot where the car was being dropped into the tree in the first place, that was a miniature shot. And then everything on this is all soundstage. So what they've done is they've repeated the car drop over a certain distance time and time again to give the illusion that rather than being a 6-foot tree, it's like a 160-foot tree.
Yeah, it's a big tree.
Gas tree.
We're coming up to what I like to call Grant's Indiana Jones moment. So if you imagine if Harrison Ford actually did get the role of Alan Grant, you just picture this scene and you're like, yeah, this is Indiana Jones. It's when he climbs down and then the car hits the log just above his head and stops.
Go, Tim, go. Although this whole thing would have been avoided if they just climbed round the right-hand side of the tree.
You always hear people complain about fucking Prometheus. They don't run to the side in Prometheus. Why don't they run to the side in the Prometheus? Well, why didn't they fucking climb around the side of the tree in Jurassic Park, hey? No one ever talks about that.
Also, she does run at the side, don't she? Like after the first couple of meters.
Yeah, you got to look at the shadow on the ground and how they're running. They do try and run to the side, but yeah, it's one of those petty things I hear people complain about, and I'm like, well, you didn't complain about Jurassic Park, so I don't want to hear none of it. You shut your mouth.
I love making complaints about this film, though. Just makes me even want to defend it even more.
It's because we love it. It's like this, like Timmy saying, and now we're back in the car again. It's like if that was in one of the modern films, they'd be like, oh, it's like these Marvel jokes in this film. They've just been through a traumatic experience, now they're cracking jokes. It's like yes, called adventure movie.
The cheeseburger joke.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Hey, we were doing the Lost World watch along with Brad the other night, and I noticed for the first time when the trailer's hanging over and Eddie throws the rope, you can actually see, I don't know how it gets there, but there's like a shit ton of like foliage and moss and everything like on the, I guess, the ceiling of the trailer when it's hanging upside down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It makes no sense because I don't know. There's no leaves or anything near the trailer when it's rolling over, I think.
It's all on into it, yeah.
I think it's just supposed to look like it's being dragged through a window or something, because I saw that. It's like thick moss, like just hanging, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
But
I guess.
I don't know where it's come from.
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess.
James, you've cracked me up about this whole like kids going up to the fence area in this T-Rex paddock because Ellie's just walked up to it and I'm just like, yeah, this is like this is the most worst designed park ever.
Right. Maybe they're just hoping the concrete wall itself is actually high enough that they can't get to the fence.
But like parents would pick their kids up
Which Ellie leans right over it here, so a kid could jump on there.
You know, like when you just like parents go, "Where's Timmy? Where's Rebecca gone?"
She's stroking the goat.
Yeah,
it'd be like Harambe.
He's now dropped 100 foot.
Look down and it's just a kid playing with a T-Rex.
Yeah, I mean, just even the tour cars driving by, that's like a hazard itself, you know? Like, I doubt there's like a motion sensor in front of it that they stop.
I love this shot of the T-Rex coming out of the forest as they're about to drive off.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Just the trees part. It's like, that's probably my favorite shot of the T-Rex in this film.
Yeah, hands down. I think it's that kind of like hunched position, isn't it? It's dominating. It's powerful, isn't it?
I have to
Just
say,
everything, the roar, the music.
with the I have to say, with the
surge.
differences between the animatronic T-Rex and the CG T-Rex.
Yeah, this is the biggest difference, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the T-Rex is inconsistent in its look, but I prefer the CGI T-Rex, the way it looks. Sorry, Stan. I'm with.
do though.
Apart from flowing eyes,
I think it looks meaner, the CG version, than the animatronic.
But you don't see the animatronic ever again in the film, right? It's just the main road attack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's
Yeah,
right,
yeah, we don't.
Crazy.
I think at this point is when they discovered that the CG might actually be and shift this animatronic around everywhere.
God, do you know what? I've never realised that. Never realised that the animatronic doesn't come back. So obvious now.
That one scene, isn't it? That sequence.
Yeah.
It would be amazing to see it in the visitor center. Just like do that roar it does at the end of the main road attack, but in front of like the stairs.
But also, it would have been. You think the way they shot the animatronic was very dark, so that any defects in it would probably wouldn't have looked as good. That partly might be the reason why the animatronics still look quite good in the Lost World and not so much Jurassic Park 3, because we saw that in daylight.
Well, that's what makes me laugh, because like the freaking animatronic T-Rex in the second film, that's probably where my mind's blurring the two, because it's like the Lost World, they use the blemmin' animatronic T-Rex more than the CGI. It's like for a lot of the action shots as well.
And also, like, just think, we don't know obviously what happened in production, and if they had all them problems with the T-Rex, didn't they? Like they got Jaws moment, Bruce moment, where the animatronic kept breaking down water. They might have had so much aggro this, and ILM Mirror might have just said, I can do this. We can animate this.
Just CGI.
It might look better in post production, and they just said, "Yeah, do it."
I mean, it also could have been down to the fact that although Stan said that they could do the T-Rex in animatronic form, that it had never been done before. No animatronic had been done to that sort of scale and size dimension before. So he could have been on the sideline of Spielberg's ear saying, listen, we can do this and we can do that, but we can't do this because it's health and safety reasons, because that thing was a beast. So it could be down to things like that. I mean, it's all speculation at this point until we get a crew member on that could give us behind the scenes insights to this sort of thing.
It's crazy how groundbreaking that movie was, and like every effect, like the animatronics were groundbreaking, the CGI was totally new.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a perfect storm.
Yeah.
I always felt like Alan Grant. He's got this raptor claw here, where he's with the kids in the tree. It's like I always imagined what it'd be like if they woke up in the morning and they're like, "What are you doing, Alan?" And he's got his hand in one of his shoes, and then you see him pop that raptor claw through the end of his shoe, and then he puts his shoe back on, and he's like, "I'm gonna take the fight to the raptors," and he starts running towards me, so kicking the dinosaurs with his raptor claw.
Oh, I would have liked to see him do that in Jurassic Park 3, actually. Just don the skin of a raptor and stick some claws in his feet.
Yeah, he goes,
motherfuckers.
he goes full Freddy Got Fingered. He's like inside the corner, dancing around.
Oh, jeez.
I always laughed in Jurassic Park 3, like Eric's raptor claw was like fucking the steroid version of
Yeah, it was like comparing dicks.
Yeah, he's like, fuck up.
Now here's the thing, look, Hammond is eating this ice cream. The fan is on in the ceiling, so there is power here, right? And he lit some candles, but he didn't just light candles on the table he's using. He lit candles on all the tables, pretty much.
He's mourning for his grandkids already.
Yeah.
Just going around lighting candles.
He's like, well, they're dead.
He's doing that.
I'm going to make
doing that thing that
out.
every person does when they're depressed. He just sits down and eats ice cream.
I like that amber statue on the table. That looks pretty cool. See, that's where I think they get like ideas for like the iconography and drawing. Oh, is it a volcano? I thought it was like an amber statue.
No, it's a volcano. It's an amber statue.
There is a volcano as well.
Is that?
There is one, a foreshadow one, I think. Now there is the word of foreshadow, obviously. There is a volcano, I think, made out of like some sort of cake display thing.
I think that's what James, because you're not watching it. I think that's what we're talking about. That's the amber,
okay.
the amber structure.
Yeah,
it
it's
does
like
look like a volcano.
amber in rock.
there a
But I think
volcano
they've made it to look like a volcano erupting, I would have said.
Yeah.
Hammond looks at that. It's like, this is our volcano contingency.
Yeah, someone of the food counters, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There might be a volcano in that artwork that's behind it. I don't
You know
know.
what? I always love this scene because you always get a good look at the canteen area and like the restaurant and the outside restaurant.
Yeah. Can you imagine how
the
it would have
Universal
looked?
parks really, they have that nice, and the cafe at the Universal parks really feels like that.
It's funny because, like, knowing the geography of the visitor center, that mural with the Paris office and stuff, that's the entrance is just behind that. Because you think that mural's on the back of the entrance on the ground floor, and then this is the opposite side of that. And you can even see it rounds at the top, so you can really like work out where to go. Yeah, it's not a big place.
Spared some expense.
When we have control of it.
But you never had control. That's the illusion.
Jinx.
This place, I wanted to give it something that wasn't illusion. Something we could see.
Alan, Lex, and Tim.
Something we can see and touch and wear. And Muldoon puts his leg up and really pulls his sock up. He's like, like donning some big dunes.
Did somebody say see and touch?
Yeah.
Yes, I did, Robert.
No, there's not a volcano on that mural in the background. No. They just had a wide shot of it. You can see the camo netting.
That's one half of it. There's another half to it that it's not showing. I think there might be a volcano, but then it is all based on John Civic work, so I don't know if he had volcanoes featured in his work much.
Well, it's Guernica, isn't it? Pablo Picasso.
Yeah. Yeah, you pointed that out recently, Sicky, and I was like, what's the significance of that, do you think?
I don't know. Don't really know, because obviously the original painting's about like the horrors of war, and like, well, I guess you could extend that to like playing God, and that's kind of what John Hammond did with dinosaurs. But
and there's also what's the guy on Nedry's computer? The guy who made the atomic bomb, right?
Oppenheimer,
Oppenheimer, yeah.
J. Robert Oppenheimer, which I guess is they just put that there because it's like someone rushing in with like a new technology that's deadly and all that sort of shit.
Not all that sort of shit.
Yeah, when I found that Guernica thing out, it was a few years ago actually on JP Legacy again. I thought I was so fucking smart. I was like, look what I found. And then sure enough, I turned to like one of the pages in the making of Jurassic Park and shit, and like it's in there. I was like, if only I'd read that.
Absolutely love this Brachiosaur animatronic. So simply done, but I absolutely love the movements it has.
It's all it's actually not animatronic, is it? It's just it's like a puppet, complete puppet hydraulics.
It's basically like a cable puppet system set up, so they articulate a lever and it moves a bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Apatosaurus one, really, isn't it?
A more basic version of it, but yeah, pretty much.
It's like purely hydraulics.
We just saw the thing sneeze on Lex. That's how the coronavirus started.
That's it. Jumping from species.
For 25 years.
Yeah, there's the thought. Like, what if they brought? Well, I guess that's the DX kind of thing. They kind of addressed it.
Oh my god! Could you imagine if they bring back Lex in the next movie, and they're like, but she's not actually there. They just said she died, and like Tim's really distraught. And it's like she died like in 1999 from like this disease that took a while to show itself.
Prehistoric disease that the Brachiosaurus was carrying.
That's why they didn't bring on this ship.
Right.
Fallen Kingdom.
Right, gents, I'm going to have to make a move, unfortunately.
All right, see you later, James. Thank you for turning up.
Carry yourself, mate.
See you later.
See you later, man.
Bye. See, I'm going to look at the floor here to see if we can see any adult raptor prints, but yeah, I don't think we do.
I think there is at all.
It's funny because in this scene, like Lex mentions, she likes to be called a hacker, so that's the one of 2 times they foreshadow the fact that she's going to like hack into a computer system and save the day.
I prefer to be.
Yeah, there's only young raptor prints. Yeah.
I believe it took people so long to sort of like compute that they were actually 2 toes there and not 3.
Well, that's
I remember
see.
people saying that they're like galley footprints.
Yeah.
It's like, when did galleys have 2 toes?
Well, that was the thing. It's like I don't want to sound like a snob, but I've always figured it was raptors based on that. I was like, because they showed the footprints of the raptors later, and they're like exactly the same, just bigger. I just noticed Ray Arnold's wearing like bright pink socks.
Yeah. I saw that when I was drawing his character. I was like, holy shit. Like doing those character illustrations.
He's just like fucked up his washing.
Yeah.
God damn it, woman, these things are white.
And then he looks over at Hammond, and he's in his like. Hammond's in his. Hammond comes over and goes, "Oh, thank you, Ray. You got my socks out," and he's got bright red socks. And then Arnold like looks over at his white suit, and he's like, "One day, motherfucker, one day. You just wait." Hammond comes out. He's like got a pink beard. He's got a pink suit on. He's like, "What the bloody hell happened?" Power's being turned off. I've always thought if I owned a cinema and I ever showed Jurassic Park, I'd freak the audience out by when he goes to switch the power off. You just go, and then you just turn the power off inside the whole cinema.
That'd be great.
Just watch the chaos unfold.
Should do like a 4D experience like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in most cinemas, they're mental.
Now, here's one of the things.
Like, go on.
I was just going to say, Ray's going to go like, I'm going to go turn the power on, and Muldoon just says nothing. He just stands there and goes, yeah, I'll let him go off. I guess it's because they don't think like the raptors are going to escape, because they don't realise that they've broken the power. But Muldoon says here too, he's like, where are the breakers? It's like, gee, Muldoon, what do you know about this park you work in? Like,
yeah.
But I guess he doesn't, because there'll probably be another whole like power team, because he's like more to do with looking after the animals or doing that sort of stuff. But at the same time, it's like you'd think he'd be like, yeah, we can't like go alone anywhere. But I guess maybe that's because we're leaning too much on Muldoon being like a security member of the thing. It's like, is he really that much to do with security?
Yeah.
But he does say, how many times have I told you we need locking mechanisms on the vehicle doors? Like, he's been complaining about that for ages.
And would he complain about that as being someone that's more in charge of security of people around animals?
Yeah, it makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah. I always get the impression he's supposed to be like a second guy. These galleys.
It's cool.
And they still work so well in this like early CG era. They have not aged much at all.
Yeah. This whole T-Rex coming out of the forest moment is pretty sick.
What, Ray Harryhausen reference?
Yep. Yeah, almost down to the T.
Mm-hmm. Same animal as well.
Same animal, yeah, same like angle of shot and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody rip off, what a hack.
Can't they come up with their own ideas?
Yeah, I can't wait to do the commentary on Guanji. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be cool.
Bum 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 ba-da-da, bum ba-da-da, bum ba-da. I love that.
I think Muldoon's thinking about his life decisions right now.
Yeah.
He's picking up and down with that hat.
Well, the thing is, like, it's when they say, like, you know, Ray hasn't returned, something's happened. that's when Muldoon's like, right, I'll get into gear now. And it's like, dude, you should have done this in the beginning. Like, as soon as someone says, I'm going on to the other side of the compound on my own, you should have been like, right, yeah, you need an armed escort. Because as soon as he finds out he's not there, like he's missing for 5 minutes, he's straight into action. It's like, it's almost like he wanted something to happen to Ray.
Yeah.
Also, that like M16s in that gun cabinet. Like, give Ellie an M16 or something.
Yeah, or give Ray a gun. You're going to send him out there.
It's Michael's.
That's what I mean. I love Muldoon as a character, but there is so much wrong with the way he acts. It's like, all of them, really. Nearly all of them.
If he'd have survived, he'd be in jail. I think he'd be held responsible for his many failures.
Yes, definitely.
He'd be working at Jurassic World.
He'd be working at San Diego Jurassic Park, sweeping empty cages. You sweep it again, Muldoon, for what you've done. Oh, this is so
like,
cool.
I suppose Ellie hasn't got a clue where she's going, but maybe he figures like Ray Arnold is he knows what he's doing. He knows the layout of the park.
Yeah.
So he has to, and you look at him, he's probably a bit of a sexist. He probably thinks she needs help. He might even be a little bit racist. So he's like, "Nah, Ray, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
But I'll help the woman."
But that's what he says here. He says, damn it, even Nedry knew better to mess with the raptor fences. Because Nedry knew that even if the raptor fences are out for like a moment's notice, they'd probably test the fence and be like, right, yeah, we're out of here as soon as they know. But they didn't think of it, which I like that aspect that they don't think of it. But it's just like, if I was writing the script, you just give Muldoon to be like, you take this, and he gives him like a shotgun. And then he goes, right, and then he goes off.
Because he could still die.
Yeah, you can still die. It still works. It's just the fact that he just goes other end of the compound after Muldoon asks him, and then Muldoon just stands there and does nothing else. You're like, come on, like we need some more something, because he's a man of action here. Like he's awesome here.
He's on the ball here, but he just But then it's like, would Ellie potentially find the shotgun? She can't have a gun, can she?
No, but you do it like so all the rounds have been fired.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing I have with like Roland Tembo. Like I love Tembo. He's probably my favourite character in the entire series. But he does bring only 2 bullets to Isla Sorna. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Why didn't you pack more than 2?
I think that I like that because it kind of plays into his character of being like, this is his shot, and he's that much of a professional that he's got this chance, and that's it.
I'm with you on that, but they needed a line of dialogue. Something where he's like, they're like, you only brought 2 bullets to the island, and he's like, I only need 2.
All I need,
yeah.
Well, Ryan Clayton did a video on that. Like RJ was supposed to be kind of like his.
Oh yeah, it's like an ammo carrier.
Yeah, but at the same time, when he goes blast, when he doesn't shoot, he doesn't instantly turn and go, RJ, give me my bag. Like he just runs off somewhere. It's like we don't know where he's going.
Yeah, it should be like RJ, because like by that point, RJ's already like running with the.
Yeah, he's been in that shot where he's like blast. If you look in the background, RJ's being pulled away by 2 InGen guys. Like he's trying to get to Roland, and RJ's being physically pulled backwards by them.
Right. That was a good bit. Wish you kind of elaborated.
Sicky, you did a really good little video with this one.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Oh, when he gets electrocuted.
Grant getting electrocuted.
And freeze! And...
Yeah, and... Timmy, come on, you can fit through. Even Lex could probably fit through there. Come on, guys.
Easily.
Oh God, I would love to get a hold of those blueprints that they're reading. Because when Hammond pulls them out of the drawer, you can see there's like a big JP logo on the front and stuff. So it's like they're a proper prop. Be nice to see what they actually look like.
Yeah.
I've seen people say that the T-Rex wouldn't have followed them at the visitor centre if Grant hadn't screamed so loud at the top of that canyon.
Yeah. I think that is what it's meant to be. Like, it responds to him.
Chaos.
Should be a large bundle of cables.
Yeah, you just can't understand it.
But here's the question, right? Here's the real question: how did the T-Rex get past the perimeter fence if the fence came on after Ellie turned it on?
Maybe ripped through it.
Don't think about it because it's a great movie. We don't think about details like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. A really good point.
If it was in,
Unless
what
it just kind
about
of
it
walked around the
came
other
through
side
the
of the
gate?
fence.
It came through the gate that Nedry left open.
oh my god! Imagine that shot. Imagine if they
That
filmed
would
that.
be, yeah.
Oh
It
my
might have just
god!
stayed open.
See, that would have been a perfect shot to show that T-Rex like walking through there, like sniffing there, and you're like, you've got this shot of the dinosaur actually being released from Jurassic Park. So, oh my god!
That'd be almost too good, I think, because it's
See,
already in like the
Take a
toys
couple
and the
years to
art
do
and
it
stuff.
with stop motion puppet and what have you, and I'll do that.
I'll cut it into the film.
honestly, you probably could get someone who's good at CGI, like Manuel, to like mock that up.
You could probably just get the
smashing
Rex
through the door.
from Fallen Kingdom when he goes through the gate after he eats the goat. I think that would probably be like what it would look like, right?
Mm.
It's like a little opening, squeezing through.
Well, yeah, but then you want original animation. Like, you want to actually like mock it up like it's actually part of the film.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like, it must have gone through the gate then. That's the only explanation, because at this time, it's like Ellie turns the power back on. And although that shot.
We're also assuming that the Rex already hasn't gone through other fences before now that may lead through to the visitor centre.
Yeah. But then again, we did just get that overhead shot of the fence where you can see that the prop just ends, so maybe it just walked around it.
And they never finished.
Oh god, I love this bit. Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business. The size of this raptor though, like this is the big one. You can tell. Like, his head's fucking massive.
I was anticipating that moment to be scary in 3D, but that wasn't really effective.
The left, what I thought was a hand, was actually its foot.
Yeah, it's
so
like,
it was actually going into Slasher rather than just literally go and grab and bite.
yeah, it was like jumping up against those pipes.
Yeah, I never got that. I always thought it was just two hands. Never got that at all.
I didn't know.
It is funny how, like, when you know that is the big one, like, what a pathetic ending. Like, they build that one up, and it's like it doesn't do any of the like majority of the action.
Yeah, but
it just turns up at the visitor center, like, here they are, walk in, and then the T-Rex gets it. It's like, oh Jesus, what an ending.
Yeah, wait, hold on. So the big one in the power shed, that shouldn't that have gotten out? Because Ellie alludes to like, oh, unless they open doors, and then you'd assume.
Yes, but the thing is, it's like the two raptors that so basically, to cut a long story short, the editing in this whole sequence is messy when you start to really think about it, because Muldoon's hunting these two raptors, and Ellie is, or like the way we've just seen, she's only meters away from this happening now, or is this meant to be happening simultaneously when Muldoon's getting eaten?
We don't simultaneously.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's from the script. So like the two raptors in the kitchen, the animatronics, or the people who were working on the animatronics, were called Randy and Kim. So a lot of people have now assumed that's what the raptors are called, but I don't think so. So it's still kind of up to interpretation. However, the script does say that Ellie meets the big one in the power shed, and then what we see later on is a raptor come through from the outside under the tarp. So you're led to assume that that's the one that comes in later.
Oh, because she makes eye contact with it. It's kind of like a...
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously you wouldn't know it's the big one by just going by the film. But according to the script and stuff, yeah, it's meant to be the big one. And if that is, it's like, what a crap ending.
The one that sort of watches, like that tricks Muldoon. I thought that was the big one, because you see the close up on its eye.
As well, yeah.
And it like sort of looks like, yeah, I fucking got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the Raptors gets locked in the freezer, so there's no way that one's going to get out. So yeah, I guess the big one comes through the tarp is the big one.
Yeah,
It only makes sense.
which is not like I've always liked the big one. It's the one that gets Robert Muldoon and the one that basically leads the fight towards these kids and is chasing them through the ceiling and all that sort of stuff. Like you want it to be that one, but then at the same time, it's like, does it really matter if it is or not? Like it's just, I don't know. They don't really establish the hierarchy of the raptors as well as they probably could.
Right.
And there's no really distinguishing features about them either to say which one's which, so they all kind of look the same as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah, I don't
Like
think
they
the two in the
Could have given
kitchen
it
are
all
like
scars or something, couldn't they?
yeah, and the two in the kitchen I think are like basically the same size.
Hmm.
Oh, here we go. Look, we got the jelly sequence. And Spielberg would later rip this off in The Lost World with the whole Malcolm looking at the tent, and then they see the shadow of the T-Rex coming by the tent.
Mm-hmm.
What a hack! What a rip-off!
The rain, the vehicles.
I actually prefer the T-Rex one because it's not got like some sort of jelly joke in it that people laugh at. It's one that people laugh at in the cinema.
There are sweets.
There are sweets, yeah.
You get a chocolate bar.
But then again, I guess like they shouldn't be there anyway because Sarah should have known about the blood.
We're all ready to see the most infamous shot in all of Jurassic Park footage.
Oh no! Again, another reason I don't like the whole 3D version is they removed the fucking plant pot with the light on the T-Rex thing, which still makes sense to me in the universe because they're building the park, so it could be anything. But they don't
you guys
remove
talk about Ellie's ass.
Yeah, they enhanced it for the 3D version. But no, like this puppeteer's hand touching the raptor, it's like remove that. That is like a clear one you should get rid of.
I think probably would have been like an outcry about it because they'd be like, he's just doing a George Lucas.
But that's like that's detrimental to the story. It takes me out of it a bit. It's like my eyes are drawn to it. It's like always. It's like pisses me off. It's like get rid of it.
I have to say though, in comparison, when you see it on the small screen compared to the big screen, it's actually not as noticeable. I remember seeing it quite vividly on the big screen because it's quite, it's pretty much there in front of all of it. But the way that it's been shot on the smaller screen, it kind of merges a little bit with the tabletop, so it's not as obvious compared to cinema experience. But this Raptor, we should have seen them already.
Yeah.
There'll be a 30th anniversary edition where they edit out all. I'm pretty sure of it. They have the technology.
They're just sticking Woo's voice saying, "That's it, girl. You just go in there and kill the kids."
Yeah.
I have to say, this whole sequence in the kitchen is great. It always, weirdly enough, it reminds me of Christmas because I remember when Jurassic Park first came on TV for Christmas, there was such this hype about it coming on TV, and they used this whole scene in the trailer for it, or like clips of it, and I was just like, it always just gives me a Christmassy feeling. This sequence, oddly enough.
You know what movie I pair? Do you guys like pair movies for like personal associations? Like one movie reminds you of another movie, but they have absolutely nothing in common.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because of like my childhood growing up, I was like always watching Jurassic Park and always watching the Goofy movies. So those go hand in hand with me for no reason.
I love the Goofy movie.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if one of those raptors is bigger than the other. It's very hard to tell.
Gotta look at this.
I think it
behind the scenes.
More or less the same.
I think it's literally the same model, like pasted twice, isn't it?
Yeah.
These two would be using the DID systems as well for the CG. So these are both again stop motion.
Mm-hmm. I think you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got about 20, 30 years worth of expertise honed into the animation method.
That raptor chasing Timmy through the door. That's so funny. Just like on wheels.
Oh yeah. I never noticed that till recently. Someone pointed that out.
I love Lex running towards the door, screaming like, ah! Imagine if she just headbutted the door and knocked herself out. Like,
There's so many moments of that in the movie where it's just like, I guess it's Spielberg playing up the whole chaos. Like it's just like quick shots of people yelling, screaming, just camera like flying across like the floor, like tracking someone.
Yeah.
You know, I love that.
yeah, it's great.
Especially that when the fossils falling, the whole the end sequence when it's like falling on Tim. It's like such a Robert Rodriguez shot with the camera. Or Michael Bay.
We're now at the scene where Alan Grant is like holding the door as the raptor's trying to get in.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, oh god, I do love this, like, this whole back and forth for them at the door. It's pretty terrifying that raptor's just trying to get in.
Timmy bouncing up and down in the spot.
No,
What to do?
That's the thing. I'll be 100% honest. Like, that's probably my biggest gripe with this film. Like, as much as I love it and it's a classic, it's just this whole Lex going to the computer and it's like, I know this system, and she's like clicking through, like, it's just totally like almost out of left field. I know like they did drop hints at it a little bit earlier, but it's probably the most cheesiest blockbusterous thing this film has going for it, is this little bit.
Yeah. The superpower. She's a kid from Predator, the Predator.
Yeah.
I think that's what she does with her free time at the weekends. Just hacks into her grandpa's security.
Well,
system.
it's not even hacking. She doesn't hack. She just clicks. She just clicks a couple of things. Anyone could do that. She's not hacking. If she had to do actual hacking, then that would, I guess, lend it a little bit more credence. But she just does a couple of bits of clicking. But again, maybe that makes it more real then, because she's not sitting there going,
kid, isn't she? Yeah.
she's not going, white random object, blah, blah, blah.
But she's just like rebooting it, isn't she? Like it's not really like that's
Hacking,
like what
yeah.
Arnold was going to do.
Yeah, maybe I'm overly thinking it. Maybe I'll give it a bit more of a
I can believe
pass.
that she has an interest in computers and she's probably messed about on a computer, clicking about and dragging and all that. And she thinks she's a hacker, but yeah.
Actually, to be honest, like maybe my biggest gripe is the fact that I just don't believe that a kid would stop panicking in that moment and go sit on a computer and start clicking about.
I was gonna say, like, if it was done now, it'd just be like she'd be screaming, pulling out her cell phone, just recording like Alan and Ellie closing the door. Like,
Well, like, yeah, like how did she know that even controlled the doors?
Yeah, it's like it's a lot of like she had to just assume exactly
how's
what
that the right
computer's doing.
computer?
Yeah, out of all the computers in the room, she goes for that one, and
That was Nedry's one, wasn't it?
although I
Yeah, but
suppose
that's
Ellie
like-
goes for that first, doesn't she? Because she saw,
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and she
Yeah.
just sort of takes over having a click about.
yeah. I guess
That's-
it
how did she
it
know,
works, but it's like
All right,
maybe
the movie's still good.
yeah. Okay, we got through it, guys. We got through it. I still don't like Timmy not doing anything though. It's like fucking standing
Timmy could
there.
have got that gun.
Yeah,
Because he's still in the PTSD after getting electrocuted, so he's just kind of like starting to go through the shakes
just
again, and he can't.
paralyzed.
well, it'd be better, yeah, if he was buckled on the floor like crying instead of jumping up
It's
and
just
down.
the
Going,
way
come on,
it's
Lex.
yeah.
Yeah, the film's shit again now. So yeah.
He just like backhands him, like shut the fuck up, do something.
That's my favourite raptor roar there, where they look over and it's like standing at the side. That roar it does into the... That's the roar. We don't hear that roar anymore.
Really
They never
don't do
used it again. Only in this film. It's that one that goes... It's like standing there and then they look over.
Oh yeah.
It's freaking awesome. It's so loud.
You know that the classic Velociraptor screech, whatever. It's like the dolphin one. Like I don't think you hear that one time in Jurassic Park 3, but I almost said the same thing for Fallen Kingdom, or sorry, Jurassic World, but I think you do hear a few times
Yeah.
in Jurassic World.
Oh, here
But
comes
like,
the big
oh,
one. Coming under the netting. Like, what's going on in here?
The movie's freaking flying by. I'm only listening in.
Yeah.
This climax really does kind of like kick up a few gears, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very fast paced and like it's crazy.
But you know, it does almost have a scar on its head, that raptor. I don't know if it's just the skin's like torn or something. Just like down the center of its head, there's like a couple
Or
of
the one that
inches
came
of
under the tarp.
split. Yeah, it looks like it could be a scar or a tear or something.
It should have like welts all over its body from being cattle.
Car.
You guys know about the disappearing raptor in this scene, don't you?
Yeah. And the T-Rex eyelid that sort of like stuck open for a little bit and then it slammed shut. Oh god, this CGI in this sequence is just nuts.
Really good.
Super.
Plus, it was also a more detailed model, wasn't it? T-Rex model versus what was earlier in the film, because they kept refining it and adding more texture details.
Yeah.
I think these are all the scans off the 1/5 scale model that they had, I think, to make that one.
You notice how the helicopter has an InGen construction logo, so that's like the construction company for building the park.
Yeah.
It's not just simply InGen.
It's its own branch of that built it.
Yeah. And there's that crane fly.
That ended fast.
Yeah. Quick
It's
movie.
really weird when you're just listening. You know?
I love Malcolm's Elvis hair in this shot.
Oh yeah. I guess that's part of like why I like Lost World Malcolm more, just because like I think he looks more
cooler hair.
Yeah, it just looks more like not laughable. You know, he's like
he's toned his fashion sense down. He's not as outlandish, is he?
I have a character who turns up in episode 3 of Dino Defenders who has the exact sort of Elvis hair as Malcolm does in this scene, like down to a T.
Pompadour.
Yeah, the pompadour helmet hair.
Pompadour.
It's funny. It's like in Lost World when Roland's like, the one with the pompadour, Elvis. And Malcolm's like, you fucking talking about me?
Yeah, you see, they capture Malcolm.
Malcolm's running in the field too. He's doing his like, you know, that fun.
Taking the piss out my hair. At least I've got hair, mate.
No, Malcolm's watching from the hill. He's like, what the hell? And he sees himself, like 1993 Malcolm, because he's been cloned. He's on it's like, he's got his pompadour hair. Naked Malcolm, running like...
Yeah, what was it? Earth Girls Are Easy, Malcolm?
Yeah.
Fucking...
There we go. The film just ends. Just, you're off the island. Fuck it. No more story. Done. Just get a bit of a cobweb over the lens and you're done. Yeah, what a movie.
I think they removed that in the 3D version.
Yeah, see, again, that's like they remove that, but they don't remove the hand on the raptor. Like, gee, come on, guys.
It's part of the story, Jack.
Well, if it is, that means there's someone is controlling those raptors from behind there. Get them, my pretties. It's Hammond. He's like, yes, kill my grandchildren. Kill the ones who aren't endorsing my park. They're not enjoying my park. They must endorse it. Yeah. Great.
There you go.
Classic movie. Masterpiece.
Favorite film of all time.
What was the name of that movie again?
Oh, was it Jurassic something?
Jungle Fever, I think it was.
Yeah, Jurassic Ghosts. I don't know.
Jumanji. Jurassic Ghosts.
Yeah.
Jurassic Ghosts in the Darkness.
Ooh.
So you guys doing? I was just listening to
Oh, Mike's gone.
General podcast.
He just fucked off.
Mike's like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
You're right, that's it. See you later.
Oh, he left?
I think so.
He might have disconnected or something.
Yeah, he'll probably be back. But what are you saying?
Yeah.
Stuff? There he is.
No, I was just listening to in General podcast, and Jack and Assis were talking about doing stuff for next year, the 25th anniversary, I think, or no,
20th
anniversary.
and 20th anniversary of JP3.
Right. So
I know what we should do for that. I've got a great idea. We should take every single copy of Jurassic Park 3 and burn it. We all individually take our copies and destroy it.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to do something funny for that next year.
Definitely.
that Lost World poster I did, I initially wanted to do. I was already starting one for Jurassic Park for the 25th, and in 2018 I never finished that, and I was going to do one for JP. Just so behind. So oh well.
I might do
I'll do
a get you guys, maybe if we all get together, do a commentary for the Site B cut that I did, mix things up, see what you guys
be
think
funny.
about like how
Yeah.
what changed in
Yeah.
that. It's been some
That'd be
time
fun.
since I watched it, but it is really bad quality because it's like meant to be like dial-up internet era. But I
be
might have a
better.
better quality version of it.
It's probably
Still.
still better.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, no, that was Jurassic Park. I don't know if you guys fancy doing another film.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm up for anything.
Hmm.
Depends what you got in mind.
You haven't seen Ghost in the Darkness, have you, Sicky?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Have you seen
I
Virus?
haven't.
I've
I
seen
really wanna
Virus,
see
yeah,
Virus.
I've got that one.
Is that like a straight up horror movie, or is it like a
Oh yeah,
comedy?
yeah, no, Yaroslav, you haven't seen Virus. That was it.
Yeah, I
Oh,
really
right.
I love Joel McNeely's score for that, so I'm like, I gotta catch
The
that.
proper, it's a horror film. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll pick something in a minute. I need the toilet, so I'm gonna be back in a bit.